everyone, it's Ruby. Welcome back to Christmas in July, where we are working on completing my December Daily 2024 album. We're going to be doing stories 4 and 5 today. So the last video was 1, 2, and 3. And now, like I said, we're doing 4 and 5. This first story is kind of just about us hanging out and making the most of the season. So we are sitting in front of our recently decorated Christmas tree and we're watching Home Alone and we're playing some board games. So wanting to celebrate throughout the whole season and make every day a little bit festive without doing things that are like crazy and unrealistic. So very easy to have hot chocolate, play games by the TV, and, you know, just feel in the spirit with a little bit of a Christmas movie. So I'm doing a similar layout that I've done in a past December Daily. I don't remember if it was 22 or 23, but it's using one of these Ali Edwards vellum pockets as like the base that will clip into the album, and then building off of that. So attaching a photo. It ends up being less than the full 10 by 8 size. It's a little smaller, which I don't mind at all. I kind of think it's nice to have that variation in the page sizes throughout the album. But yeah, so I will adhere that picture down, and then I also end up stitching that eventually. I don't know if I do that in this video or if I do it a little bit later, but I'm going to just cut the photo down to size, and then I will do some embellishing on top of that. It's honestly pretty simple. But yeah, so like I said, we're watching Home Alone here, and we're playing this game. I can't remember what it's called, honestly, but it's just a board game. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. I'm honestly not a huge fan. I'm also not that great at it. But I did go ahead and stitch with just some red thread down the page. And I do love having the sewing machine all set up. It's so nice to use. And I actually recorded this back in December. So this is like from real life time. I just never recorded the voiceover. But yeah. And I have a ton of these also from Ali Edwards little cards. They're like 3 by 8 journaling cards that have different bits of lines and print and patterns on them. And I have a ton from like those 3 by 8 sets I buy from her because I love to get the 3 by 8 transparency pack. But the journaling card ones I don't use as often. I have a ton of them. So I cut the holes off of it so it's a little bit skinnier and it will fit in the pocket that I'm working with, and I will use that to handwrite my journaling. So I have been doing a lot of typed journaling, which is awesome, but I wanted to do a bit of handwritten just because this was in the pocket. And then I want to cut this down to be more of a tag shape instead of just a rectangle. So I'm just using a pair of scissors and a piece of scrap paper to kind of create like a guide for me to cut my tag shape. It's a great little trick so you don't have to fold the actual item you're using. Making sure I'm doing it on the right side and not the bottom. But yeah, so I will cut that out, and then that will give me the tag shape. I'll poke a hole, and then I will also add some ribbon, but I do really like this kind of tag shape vibe. Another thing I do, I don't know if I do it on the video or if I do it in the next part, is the envelope itself, the little pocket, the vellum pocket is like, has like a little, what is that called? Like a little niche, what is that called? A notch. I was just really not thinking straight. A little notch in it that's like a half circle, so you know to pull it out. But because this is going to be actually a double-sided pocket, I will use a circle punch to, like a circle puncher, like a big circle, and create a notch on the other side as well. But I think I might do that later on. But yeah, so I poked my hole. It has a little red star print on the top, which I think is cute. And then I'm going to stamp the date, this was actually on December 1st. And I originally wanted my December Daily to be like stories by the date. So instead of doing 25 or 30 stories, I would just do however many stories I felt like, but the number would correspond to the day that the story happened. But then I was like, the decorating the tree happened before December, and making my wish list was really before December, so I thought, whatever. But I do like the idea of that. So like this would be story 1, but if I didn't do anything on December 2nd, there would just be no story 2. It would just be whatever, 3, 7, whatever it was. I just kind of thought that was an interesting take on it, but maybe next year. So then I'm taking these for the, what are they, felt numbers, again from Ali, and also from Ali is the, what are they called? The fabric word strips. I have a bunch of those. I bought them a couple years in a row. And I'm actually going to stick the red line tape paper backing back down so I can run this through my sewing machine. Again, I love a sewing machine. The one that I end up picking says counting down because, you know, it's for beginning the season. I liked it because it was shorter and it sat better on the number 4. But yeah, I do love these numbers. I also have them in white, I think. But I did buy 2 packs of the green ones for the 2024 season, and they did sell out, so I'm kind of glad I got a lot because you only get one of each number. So if I want to do like 14 or 20 something, I can do that. But yeah, so I cut the, or I sewed it down. I should have done the sticking after the sewing, but I hadn't thought that far ahead. So I'm just cutting the red line tape adhesive off. And I did use red line tape instead of just the regular adhesive I used, just so it'd be extra stuck down. And I could have even put a staple through it and one side of the vellum pocket, but I was afraid it would make the card not want to slide down, so I didn't end up doing that. But yeah, I did have big hopes to watch a lot of Christmas movies during this time of year. We didn't end up watching that many, mostly because Steven doesn't like to rewatch movies, and that's kind of all that you do is rewatch movies. So I ended up watching a few more, but I did my journaling just talking about not wanting to wait for the weekend to do fun, festive stuff and just keeping it simple. So watching a quick movie, playing a game instead of, playing on our phones at night, and just making each day a little bit magical. And then I went ahead and put a little bit of washi tape on the bottom and did stitch through that just for the pretty view of it. And then I think that I do a little bit of embellishing on the top right here. Oh, there's that circle punch I was talking about, where I create the notch on the other side. So I had to get a different size. But yeah, I just liked that. It didn't punch through super easy, but I used my scissors to kind of fix it, and it turns out looking pretty smooth. And then yeah, I'll do a little bit of embellishing on the right top corner of the page just to kind of, balance it out and give a little bit more something. But overall, that's pretty much all we do on this page. But yeah, I'm very excited to see all these pictures kind of coming together. I really love seeing the house all decorated. It's so cute and cozy, and I do love our tree and the way we decorate our tree. And I'm already kind of getting excited at the idea of putting the tree up again. I love it. It's so cozy. I love the warm, cozy light of the tree at night. But, it's not time yet. It's special because it's not all the time. So I'm doing another one of those fabric phrase strips, and then I use this really cute washi. I think it came from Studio Calico. It's green with little starbursties on it. And then I ended up finding one more embellishment, which ends up being not this little stamp, although that is pretty cute. I use a sparkly green Christmas tree that's from, I don't even know what, it's very old. I honestly can't remember where it's from, but I stapled that down eventually. I like the idea of trying to add something red, but I feel like the pocket is so red, and the tree works because it's we're decorating the tree, or we're sitting in front of the tree at least. So yeah, and I have a couple sizes of those Christmas trees. I end up using a smaller one, or maybe I scooched the whole thing down. No, I'll use a smaller one. But yeah, okay. So then I will adhere the little phrase down. I will stitch through it and then staple that little tree down. And you can see this is actually in December because my nails are red and green. Whereas in the last video, I think they were red because it was 4th of July time. But when I was recording it, but now my nails are rainbow. So they might be rainbow in the next video. We'll see. But it is Christmas in July. It's fine. So yeah, I'm going to stick that down. And I think that that's all we do on this little page. And then we'll work on the back side, which is a mirror idea. There was me showing you I stitched through. But it's a mirror concept of this video that we just, or this story that we just did, but just different photos and a different story. So I like the idea of having that just kind of kept simple. It works really well as if you're trying to build off of the page you built on the other side. You're building off the back side. I think that there's nothing wrong with just doing the same thing again. It's just sort of good continuity, if you will. But yeah, so I'm going to stick that down and then staple it like I said, and then we'll eventually move on to the other side. But I would love to know if you guys are Christmas movie rewatchers. Are there certain movies you rewatch? Do you rewatch all of them? Do you watch some one year and then other ones different years? Are you guys, what is your vibe? I feel like there's so many Christmas movies to choose from, whereas with Halloween, there's only a few really, I feel like. So, oh yeah, I have to put a ribbon through that. That's what I have left. This is from Michael's. I went and bought a couple different ribbons at Michael's when they were on sale. I definitely want to have more variety of ribbon. I want to have some more green options. I have a lot of red and white, not as many green. I think it would be cool to thrift some ribbon, but every time I go, I never see anything cute. Or it's huge, thick, wrapping for a present ribbon, not thin. Also, I'm a huge proponent of burning the edges of your ribbon so it doesn't fray, just because, you know, these albums get tossed around and this is going to stick out of the album. So when it's on your shelf, it's going to get like squished a lot. So I like to do that. But yeah, it sits in there nice. There's plenty of room in the holes. And then we're going to move on to story number 5. Okay, we're back. Same thing. Same base idea. But this is all about my mom. So we grew up celebrating Hanukkah and not having a Christmas tree. We were raised Jewish. My dad very much identifies as Jewish, although he's not very much a practicing Jew, I would say. But he didn't want us to have a Christmas tree. He's like, we're Jews, we don't have a Christmas tree. So we grew up going to Christmas at my cousin's house, my mom's sister. But we never had our own. And my mom eventually was like, you know what? We're getting a Christmas tree, not for Jesus, but for fun. And so we did. In like 2019 or 2020, I think we got our first tree at home. And it was a fake tree. It's the fake tree. We've always had the same one. But it was our first time having a tree. So most people, you know, grew up having a tree in their house, and their parents have collected ornaments from even when they were kids, and, you know, oh, here's this ornament you made in 3rd grade, blah, blah, blah. We don't have that. My mom started from scratch, and you would not know that if you went to her house during Christmas, because she has not wasted any time. She feels very caught up to me. If you look at our house, it's very decorated, but her theme is she loves gnomes. She loves like gnomes, woodland, felted, whatever. And so that's kind of her tree vibe, as well as like the whole house. So I usually get her an ornament or two each year, especially when she first started collecting ornaments. I wanted to help her with her collection. It's also just fun because she had like a cute theme, and I didn't really have a tree at the very beginning of us having a tree at our house. I didn't have a tree at my house. But really quick, I was showing you guys these little frames that I made. I just designed them on Canva. I like stole an image and cut it out on Canva. But they're going to be like tiny little frames, but they have ribbons on top, so they look like little presents. But the frame itself shows the photo. And these are the up close photos of each of the ornaments I got her this year. So I got her 2 ornaments, both from Anthropologie, and they're like felt little woodland creatures. So the top one is, I think it's a squirrel, maybe a chipmunk, I don't really know. But she's holding like a million shopping bags, and she has like this cute little hat and a jacket and a scarf and her sunglasses on, like a real New York jet setter kind of a gal who's just shopping. And my mom has a shopping problem. She loves to buy stuff. So I thought that was perfect and really funny. And the other one is this like yoga bunny is what it was called. And it has like a yoga mat over its arms, like a sling. But the reason I bought it is because it has like a red sippy cup. And these are for like, I think it's supposed to be a Stanley cup. But my mom is obsessed with the Hydro Flask, like Stanley Cup knockoffs. She's a Hydro Flask girl. She loves a water bottle. And so I was like, this is so funny because it looks just like her. But it's also funny because when I got to the house to give it to her, it was a red cup for like the Christmas time, but she also had just purchased a red cup from the Hydro Flask Sippy Cup collection. So it was really funny. So there's a photo of her on the left is her in front of the tree with her cup and holding up the ornament. And then the other 2 photos are going to just be stacked right on top of the pocket, the vellum pocket, with each up close photo. But yeah, I liked the way the little frames kind of consolidated or like held the photos, so they felt a little bit more incorporated rather than just like kind of slapped on raw photos. So I thought that was an easy little thing. And I cannot get over how much I love my Cricut. It's the best. I use it all the time, and it was the best investment for me. And it's really not that expensive. It was like $200 maybe, which isn't nothing, but it's not as expensive as a lot of things are. So, and I've used it. I use it for so much stuff. I use it for when I'm making stuff for track season for the kids I coach, making clothes for myself, like merch for track season. I make little scrapbooks for the kids and posters, and I made like numbers for our podium, and I use it in my scrapbooking all the time, and it's just the best. So if you haven't taken the plunge on a Cricut, I think you should. And I bet you could find them on like Facebook Marketplace where people buy them and then don't ever use them. I hear a lot of people buy them and then never use them. So could be worth it. Now I'm doing my numbers. So this is story 5, and I found these little they're like chipboard numbers from Studio Calico, and there was like a peach one that was a 5, and I didn't think it was great, and I was like, I could just stamp right on top of it. And I have these little like stamp dauber things that I never ever use, and so it was like perfectly clean. So I was like, okay, realistically, I feel like I do the most like mixed media-y stuff in December, so I don't mind making this one red and committing to the bit. But yeah, so I stamped right on top of that in red, and it worked perfectly. I have this little die cut on the left that's from, I think it's from Mandy. She sent me a bunch of stuff from Hey Santa collection because I'd asked about it, and I think this is from her as well. But it's like a cute little like medallion badge thingy. So I went ahead and used that as my background. And then I was considering different stickers to stick behind the 5, but I kind of like the way it looks, like really graphic and bold right on top of the white. So I end up sticking that down. I think I used glue, a glue pen. I need a new glue pen because mine is out. I was trying to look for it the other day and it was dried out. But yeah, here I am sticking down the photos on the sides. And I actually have photos of ornaments, I think, in almost every year of my album because I do end up buying new ones each year. And I do have another ornament story that happens later on in this album about the ornament I made for our tree. But I think it's a fun story to tell. And I mean, if you have like a childhood tree or like, you know, a tree that you've had since your beginning of your family, you could document like different sentimental ornaments each year. I think it's a good jumping off point for a story if you're looking for like a filler story. And I also, while I was yapping about this little story here, I did pick out the card and stuff for the backside. So it's another one of those Ali Edwards journal cards, the 3x8s, and I just cut it down to size, and it has a little Christmas tree on the bottom right this time instead of the stars on the top that the other one had. And then I picked out another one of those little canvas word strips. I love them. I hope that Ali comes out with them again this year. I don't think that she did them in 2024. Maybe she did, because I know there was the red ones, and then there was black ones, and I bought the black ones the next time they came out. But I don't know if that was 22 and 23, or if that was 23 and 24. I kind of think it was 22 and 23, honestly. So hopefully she comes out with them again. I don't usually buy, I've never actually bought the kit from Ali, and I don't love it enough to buy the kit. There's enough that I wouldn't want to use, but I do really like doing the shop items and buying like all the individual embellishments because I like the different textures and like mediums that she has for embellishments that I think add like a fun element to the album, whereas like most collections it's just like stickers, paper, you know, maybe some plastic-ish embellishments type of thing. So I like having the different textures that Ali offers. I will say I am disappointed that I end up adding a trim right there where I just, oh, there, here it is. Look at my timing is impeccable. I end up adding this really cute snowflake trim that I got at, I think, Home Goods, maybe, which is so cute, but I don't stitch it down. I stuck it back to the other page already, I think, at this point. And so I couldn't stitch through it, and it's really annoying me because I wish I could. But I was trying to peel it up and see if I could stick it down, but it's really going to be hard to peel these two pages apart at this point. So I don't know. I guess it's just going to be a lost cause. But this little snowflake man does not really sit down that well because I'm just using the 1/8 inch double-sided tape, and it's just really not stuck down that well. But I do think it adds a really cute element, and it kind of covers up that seam. The other page, the pocket is on top of the photos, so that kind of accounts for the seam, and I stitched right through that, and I think that worked out really well. But yeah, so it's a little annoying. I guess I maybe couldn't have stitched through because I would have had to stitch through the pocket again, and the pocket already is on the other page. I don't know. I think I could have stitched it through just the picture, and it would have been fine, but I didn't, so you'll live with it. But yeah, this is basically the general idea of this page. I must have already done the journaling because I'm sticking this down now too. I do a similar thing on the top left of this page with like a little embellishment cluster that's like anchored down by that green washi tape that we'll see in a second. But I think it does a good job of kind of balancing out that empty space at the top and making it feel very completed. This story, I didn't put a date on it, which I should go figure out what day this took place and stick a date on it because I think it would be cute to have a date. But yeah, I have this new issue where I'm obsessed with Anthropologie now because they have really cute ornaments, but they are very expensive. So it's a dangerous, slippery slope. I bought myself like a couple of ornaments from Anthropologie this year. I don't think I have a story on them, but they're just like some cute, unique glass ones. I like having like the unique statement piece ones from Anthropologie, and then like filler ones are from other places that are a little bit more affordable. Or you just buy them after the season's over because, you know, we're going to have Christmas next year. But yeah, so I just stapled down that ribbon. Stapling it down kind of helps decrease the bulk. And I was showing it to you like I was done, and then I was like, wait, we need more. So I add again that cute washi tape that I love. I'm hoping to continue using that throughout the album. It's so fun. It's like very graphic, and I also feel like justice for green scrapbook supplies. I feel like people do so much red in December Daily, but where is the green? And if you know me, you know green's my favorite color, so gotta have our green. And then I have this similar badge kind of, like, I don't even know what it's called, but I'm going to call it a badge. Little sticker. It's a cardstock sticker, and it's again from the sticker book. That is Hey Santa that Mandy kindly sent me. And then I stuck this cute little tree down, and then I'm going to, stick a little bow, and then I have some little Starburst stickers I will also stick down on this little number 5 part. And that is really the end of the embellishment on this page. I don't know what we're doing for another 30 seconds here, but I am very excited to have this story documented in my album, and I'm very excited to get started on 6 and 7 and all the other ones. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Again, thank you so much for joining me on Christmas in July, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.